Hi, I'm Grace and these are my love pills. Let's continue talking about Holy Week. Thursday is a special day because it leaves us the path to follow by serving others. By washing the feet of the apostles, Jesus marked the main path. If you can meditate deeply on this fact, you will feel within you the need to not see others as something separate from you but as a part of you. Let's start by making it clear that there are children of God and children of evil. In the gospel they are called by the name of wheat and tares. When Jesus did the action of serving, he did it towards the apostles, those who followed him, but he also did it for Judas, who he would denounce at the Last Supper. Serve the enemy then? Oh yes. In Romans 12:20 we read, "So if your enemy is hungry, feed him, if he is thirsty, give him something to drink, for in doing this you will heap burning coals on his head." The letter is sent to non-Jews and shows us how to capitalize on our treasure in heaven. You see, what we see here on earth is also seen in heaven, and if we do a good deed that demonstrates spiritual maturity, we accumulate a treasure, but there is more. Those who act perversely will accumulate anger precisely for having received good and returned evil. Actions have consequences, but we must always keep in mind that God works for the redemption of all. It is not up to us to judge, it is up to us to act well. We all know what happened during the Last Supper, and I will not insist on known aspects, but instead I want to go into the following hours. After the dinner, Jesus and the apostles went to the Mount of Olives, Gethsemane, and the Lord went away to pray. But let us read from the words of Luke 22:39-46. And he went out, as was his custom, to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples followed him. When he came to the place, he said to them, "Pray that you may not enter into temptation." And he withdrew from them about a stone's throw, and knelt down and prayed, saying, "Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me, nevertheless, not my will, but yours, be done." Then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him. And being in agony he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling down to the ground. When he rose from prayer, he came to his disciples and found them sleeping for sorrow, and he said to them, "Why are you sleeping? Get up and pray that you may not enter into temptation." We are all among the olive trees of Gethsemane, sooner or later in our lives, and we see that God, made flesh, sweated blood. Let us not think, therefore, that God does not know exactly what fear means. He himself experienced it to such a degree that he sweated blood. Not only that, the presence of the angel who gives strength to Jesus tells us that we are all comforted by an angelic presence, provided that we pray, and Luke specifies, pray intensely. Continuing, the question that Jesus asks the disciples is addressed to us. Why do you sleep? Yes, why do we sleep? Sleep is the antagonist, the one that denies spiritual awakening. But there is even more. Jesus came to his disciples and found them sleeping because of sadness. There is nothing worse than sadness and depression to prevent the awakening of the Spirit. If we consider that Jesus, God made flesh, came down to show us that there is a kingdom beyond the visible, he warns us of the dangers of emotions that can be a big, huge obstacle. Jesus says a huge truth shortly after, when he was arrested. Let's read John 18:4-5. Jesus then, knowing all that was going to happen to him, went out and asked them, "Whom are you looking for?" They answered him, "Jesus of Nazareth." Jesus said to them, "I am." Jesus repeats his holy name just as he said to Moses while burning in the bush. I am. Exodus 3:14. God said to Moses, "I am who I am." Then he said, "Thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you." It's touching, isn't it? I would like to end this little video on Holy Thursday by talking about what happened after the arrest. Jesus was taken, bound, to a cave-like prison beneath Caiaphas' house, and remained there all night awaiting the show trials the next morning. The high priest had very large quarters and underneath were prisons. More than one, for different types of prisoners, depending on how dangerous they were. For Jesus it was the most terrible. This place is known today as the pit, and prisoners were lowered through a passage about 3 feet deep. The pit consisted of a small area, perhaps 15 by 15 feet square, perhaps 20 feet deep. No windows. No doors. No lights. The only way in or out was for a prisoner to be lowered by the rope, tied around the shoulders and chest, and lowered through the hole in the roof. Lowered into the cold, empty, dark pit. And there Jesus remained, alone, all night. Feel this for yourself. Think of his sacrifice for all of us, then give thanks. I leave you with this reflection. See you, if you want, with the third part. God bless you.